Get ready, because we're diving straight into one of the biggest energy megaprojects in North America. And you've probably never even heard of it. It's the type of infrastructure that doesn't get as much attention as, say, power plants or dams, despite being equally hard to build and just as crucial to the world's power supply. And right now, with the global energy crisis showing no signs of stopping, gas prices stuck at record highs, and shortages made worse by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, ensuring there's enough of the stuff to go around has become a bit of a challenge. So, here's the scoop. When this colossal new facility in Canada is completed in a few years, it could provide a much-needed new source of fuel that will reach far and wide. Plus, it's set to provide a massive economic boost. We're talking about the single largest private sector investment in the history of Canada. But in an industry where competition between countries is fiercer than ever and renewables are on the rise, is this Canada's chance to become the next energy superpower, or has it missed the boat? Now, before we delve into the nitty-gritty, what's this megaproject all about, and why is it making such a massive dent in this breathtaking Canadian landscape? This epic undertaking is unfolding in the small town of Kitimat, and the consortium behind it goes by the catchy name LNG Canada. You might be wondering, what does LNG even stand for? Well, it's liquefied natural gas, and yes, we know what you're thinking, fossil fuels aren't exactly climate friendly. And Canada's supposed to be a world leader in renewable energy. So, why on earth are they building something like this? Here's the deal. Canada is one of the world's biggest producers of natural gas, but unlike the US, Qatar, or Australia, it doesn't have a way to export it overseas. That's where LNG Canada comes into play. It's their first LNG scheme and is set to cost more than a whopping 40 billion Canadian dollars. The task is not a walk in the park, as these jaw-dropping images clearly show. Hold on a second. Isn't natural gas, well, a gas? Why are we talking about liquefied natural gas? Yes, when it first arrives at the terminal via the Coastal Gas Link, a new 670-kilometer pipeline that stretches all the way from the source up in Dawson Creek. Yes, that's the actual name of the town where the gas comes from. It's still in gaseous form. But here's the catch. To get it to another country or continent, there's a vast ocean in the way. So, you can't just build another pipeline. You need special tankers like these to make it safe for transport. And so you can fit as much of it as possible on board, the gas needs to be converted into a liquid. Then it's placed in these colossal tanks, loaded onto ships, and transported to its destination. Once it arrives, it's turned back into a gas. Simple, right? Well, not so much. The process is far from straightforward, just like the construction itself. Now, let's delve deeper into the astounding engineering marvels that grace this immense site. We're talking about colossal structures that look like they're fresh from a sci-fi movie, and they serve a vital role in this intricate energy production ballet. First up, those enormous structures that could easily be mistaken for massive, industrial birdcages covered in a web of pipes. These are the process modules, and they're no lightweight objects. Imagine structures that stand an impressive 35 meters tall and tip the scales at over 4,500 tons each. To put that into perspective, that's like stacking around 24 adult blue whales on top of each other. That's how massive they are. Now, why are they so crucial to this whole operation? Well, think of them as the grand gateway for the natural gas, which is brought in through the pipeline. It's at this stage that the gas gets the VIP treatment. These modules are responsible for the meticulous treatment and processing that the gas must undergo before it continues its journey. They essentially refine and purify the gas, ensuring it's of the utmost quality before it's prepared for its long voyage. But here's the kicker, these gigantic structures weren't assembled on site. They were born on the other side of the globe, in China, and had to make an epic transoceanic journey to reach this remote Canadian town. Think of it as shipping the Eiffel Tower piece by piece from Paris to New York and then assembling it in Central Park. It's a logistical masterpiece. Now, let's shift our focus to an even more colossal piece of equipment at this site, the absorber column. This colossal apparatus weighs over 800 tons and stretches a jaw-dropping 54 meters in length. That's equivalent to about half the length of a soccer field. What's its mission? Well, this titan of machinery plays a vital role in the gas purification process. It's tasked with doing something you might not think about when it comes to gas. It removes carbon dioxide, one of the major impurities. In essence, it's like a giant, high-tech filter for the gas. But here's where it gets even more mind-boggling. Installing this beast required not one, not two, but 3 massive cranes working in unison. Picture this, 3 colossal cranes choreographing a complex dance, carefully maneuvering this gigantic structure into place over the site. It's a sight that must have been nothing short of awe-inspiring, akin to watching a trio of mammoth creatures orchestrating a ballet. This installation process isn't something that happens every day, even in the world of mega projects. The sheer precision and engineering prowess required to pull it off are beyond remarkable. In the end, it's a testament to human ingenuity and our ability to conquer colossal challenges. Now, brace yourself for the grand finale, the mammoth tank. This colossal container is a true Goliath in the realm of industrial tanks, standing an impressive 52 meters high and boasting a diameter of 92 meters. It's one of the largest of its kind globally, and this isn't an ordinary tank, it's a work of architectural art. Picture it as the Colosseum of the energy world. But here's the kicker, getting that enormous, domed roof into place wasn't a task for the faint of heart. The method used was like watching a meticulously orchestrated symphony. Instead of using sheer force to raise it, a series of massive fans gradually pressurized the tank, creating a controlled lift. Over the course of 3 painstaking hours, that colossal roof was raised into position. It's a bit like inflating a giant balloon, except on a scale that's almost unfathomable. And once in position, welders had the monumental task of ensuring that everything was secure. It was a bit like closing the lid on a colossal treasure chest, a treasure chest filled with the promise of clean, accessible energy. This particular feat is an embodiment of human determination and skill. It's like crafting the world's largest ship in a bottle, but instead of a bottle, it's a colossal tank, and instead of a ship, it's a vital component of Canada's energy future. A true testament to what human innovation can achieve when faced with monumental challenges. With construction now over 70% complete, this terminal is set to come online sometime in the middle of this decade. But where is all this gas likely to go? The main target is Asia, and it makes sense. It's the next closest continent to Canada's west coast, and many countries in Asia rely on imported gas, while some are still burning coal, the worst of all fossil fuels. While natural gas isn't exactly the knight in shining armor of clean energy, it's far better than coal. But, will it be enough to convince countries like China to stop using coal entirely? Well, that's a whole different story. China is still importing large amounts of LNG, but they're still building coal plants. It's often used for domestic consumption or to power industry because it's cheaper. So, convincing countries to kick coal to the curb remains a challenge. But what about Europe? It's been scrambling over the past year to fill the gap in its gas supplies left behind by Russia's shenanigans in Ukraine. In fact, Europe's energy crisis has been a massive concern, one that could potentially push not just the continent but the entire world into a possible recession, according to Shell, one of the 5 companies behind LNG Canada. In 2022, LNG imports to Europe increased by a staggering 60%. But here's the kicker. Canada is in the opposite direction from Asia, so it would mean very long journeys to reach them. Also, Europe is pushing hard to get off fossil fuels as soon as possible. So, right there, we have one of the potential problems with this colossal project, timing. By the time it gets up and running, many nations may be looking at much cleaner alternatives to natural gas. And the chances are that overall demand will be lower by then. What's more, Canada will be coming up against competitors that have been doing LNG for years. So, it's not going to be a walk in the park. And let's not forget about the costs, which have grown significantly. Not on the LNG terminal, but with that pipeline. There's also the impact on local communities. The First Nations, the Aboriginal people of the Montney Basin, have expressed concerns about the drilling and forestry's impact on their hunting and fishing rights. The industry had to make an agreement with the government and the First Nations that limited the amount of drilling in the basin, and that could push up the cost of supply as well. So, all in all, LNG Canada represents something of a gamble for the companies involved and, to some extent, the entire country. It's undeniably impressive from a construction point of view, and it's offering something that's clearly needed all over the world right now. But, as is often the case with these mega projects, whether it ends up being worth the costs, both financially and environmentally, remains to be seen. And, as always, if you enjoyed this video and you're eager for more, don't forget to subscribe to Billionaire Mindset. We've got exciting content coming your way. But wait, before you go, be sure to check out our video on NEOM's huge update. It's another groundbreaking project that you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.